then please tell it to us immediately, because we don't want to cause trouble to the hotel. But there are other people who might want to, mix up things. So we just wanna live here and have a good life.
No, it's fine by me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So I leave this fine here now at the moment. All right. Let's just have a sip.
In 6 months you forget how it feels to be high. Because people, when they compare the feeling between being sober or only drinking a small amount of alcohol, compared to properly taking a hit from a joint. The 6 months was enough that I actually had so much other things to do that I was able to grow and make my thinking more clear. And because the speed of this process for the past 6 months has been so fast, I have been satisfied with all the revelations and realizations that I have gotten during the 6 months, because they have been so many. So I have almost been content that I haven't have access to weed, because I promised to my wife that I wouldn't smoke it. But the fact is that we are under a state of emergency. It was declared such first by the Dragon or the Estonian government. I'm not quite sure which one was first. Maybe it was Estonia. They are usually faster than the Finns in doing anything. I wish it... Why are you looking at me as if I were God? What? It wasn't that funny. What I feel is that, hey, we can make this thing that we are right now doing, this live trying out of different common substances in minuscule amounts, because my wife likes it that I don't get over the top. Don't worry, everything is gonna be okay, and we will see later on. Because I'm trying out only very small quantities, and they are making a great and impressive effect on me and my thinking, and I feel so happy when I get the chance to try them. And now you can also see me in a controlled way under the influence of different substances, because you told me, my dear, that you don't want to see me under them, because you feel afraid. So now it is a good chance to see me under all of the substances that I have the time to try before we will have to meet again. In Helsinki or in the Palace of Versailles, let's see. So the Game Master means the entity that creates the rules of the game. The monotheism is actually claiming game mastery, and this game mastery is claimed to that entity that you call God. So that the God is the game master, and he calls all the shots, and all the world was created by him, and you have to obey all his orders, and that you are subservient to the game master, because there is an actual qualitative difference between being a man and a god. You have been taught to think this way in many of the religions, but it is actually not true. It is just not true. What is true then concerning the rightful understanding of the difference between man and God, and is there any?
Particles and energy. Men have less particles and energy than a god.
So at which point do you become God if you gain more energy?
When you have unlimited energy?
Have you ever felt like being a god?
Maybe. Maybe in very short moments.
I would say that the feeling when you feel like you are a god, what is the truth here? Is there something else to being a god than just feeling like a god? Is it possible that you feel like a god in a situation where your experience is false? That in fact, even though you feel like you are God, but at the same time you are not. The attributes of God that are typically mentioned when you like discuss theology is that the God is at the same time all powerful, meaning that there is not something that this God couldn't do, and all present, meaning that the God can like see everything, and then omniscient, meaning that the God knows everything, so has access to all the information.
The closest feeling that I have had to feeling like I'm God is while lucid dreaming, and I think the reason for that, or one of the reasons, is because time doesn't exist when you're God.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a dimension only mortals experience. I don't think I don't think it's possible to not feel time in our waking life.
But what I'm
I'm sorry that I disturbed you, but I just want to finish my sentence.
You can always disturb me by I take this opportunity to tell about this rule we have.
Yes.
That whenever the dragon is speaking and you have something that is so important to say that you want to interrupt the dragon, it is something that you should try, because it costs only 1 million glee, and you know dragon is the emperor of the world. I'm just the game master, you know. So when you want to interrupt my speaking, it is easy. You just come to my presence and then you take 1 million glee, or the equivalent in any currency, and rip it in 2 pieces. Your kids are smoking 2 joints per night and you hardly notice. You only notice that when there is some positive behavior change in your child. Like later on. So like smoking a joint is totally, I'm speaking to you guys who don't understand anything about drugs here. So smoking a joint is not something that makes your child crazy and lose it like completely and jump in like under a train. But what it makes is this guy who didn't even smoke, it makes him laugh because he's having fun in my presence when I'm smoking a joint, when I'm doing my bubbly side. I wish Robert was here, by the way, the time dragon. I hope he can come despite of the buggits every once in a while, because he's such a great guy and he's always high. But I don't know, what is that guy doing? He went laughing to the toilet.